Hi guys. How are you doing tonight? Looks like we've got a few people coming in. Paula, hello. Kenny, how are you doing today? Hi Tim Tim. What are you guys up to? All right. I am going to go ahead and get, what on earth is my hat doing? Anyway, we are going to go ahead and get started on a couple of updates real quick while people are coming in. First of all, my weekly water update. I am at 24 ounces. I was holding steady until I got that more, what's the word? Consistent. I think I am at the point I am going to try to up it another 8 ounces. This last week, even with some different stressors and stuff, I have not had any hive issues. I've consistently been getting the 24 ounces in, so I'm going to aim for 32 ounces. Not that I can do the hand. I talk with my hands, but yeah, no. 32 ounces, so that would be 4 8-ounce glasses of water a day. This one is actually 24, I think. Gotta love the... All right, so yeah, here is 3 cups. Actually, it's right here. So I would need to do like 2 up to this line. Anyway, so of water for the next week. Wow, I've got 14 comments coming in here. Okay, so oh, it is not a Saturday night, Tim Tim. I don't think Paula is into the moose milk. What did you have for supper? Hi, Ray. Let's see here. Okay, I'm seeing Hitch a Chick Urban Homestead. I'm wanting to say your name is Bev. Can you remind me if that's right? And how much did you miss? Not a whole lot. I didn't start until 9:15, so you are actually right on time. All right, so update number 2. The Raid Parade is coming back. So it won't be this Friday. I will still have, this week will look like a premiere from me tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, a live on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and a premiere at probably 2:10-ish Eastern Time on Friday. Next week, the Friday section of that, it will be as part of the Raid Parade again. That is coming back with a few minor tweaks. So hopefully you guys can get that on your calendar so you know it's coming up. We always start off from Roy and Becky's live stream and then jump into the premieres after that when they go off at 2 p.m. Tonight we will be rating Prairie Life at top of the hour. It looked like she had a pretty interesting live stream planned. So, and at that point, you will be able to find her link pinned at the top wherever chat is for you. I'm still not used to the computer. It's pinned at the top already, so it'll be there. Okay, I was right. It is Bev. White rice with dried shredded pork. That sounds interesting, Tim. Hi, Ford Man. Hi, Cassie. And then I am going to try a new situation with tonight. Miss Pinga, can you please quit clawing at the door? She wants to go out, of course. Hi, Danny. How are you doing tonight? Cassie, are you having a better day today? Am I really yelling? I'm sorry. I shall back up and move away from the mic. All right. It is 9:21, it looks like. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen instead of actually doing. That is so good to hear, Cassie. Instead of sharing my screen and not being able to see chat and while I'm doing like the presentation sort of aspect, I am going to actually share my screen, and I already recorded it so I can actually be interacting with you guys in chat. So if you have questions about what I'm saying, I will actually see them in real time because I have my phone right here, even though this will be on a different screen. Alrighty, so I am going to go ahead and do that real quick, and we will get this show on the road.
So let's talk about mistakes. Because, well, mistakes mean you try. So you guys know I like to start out with a definition of whatever it is I happen to be talking about. And so we're talking about mistakes. And the definition of a mistake is an action or judgment that is misguided or wrong. It doesn't say that it was intentionally that way. It's just facts of the matter are either a judgment was made or an action was done and it wasn't, I don't know. I mean, it was misguided or wrong. Okay? So now that we're all on the same page,
I'm going to make a couple of tweaks and take this banner off.
I was walking through my kid's school, dropping off a laptop that wasn't working, and I happened to spot down in the corner of a doorway a quote by Albert Einstein. A person who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. And it got me thinking about one of the things on my belief wall here at home, and that's that mistakes mean you try. Because, I don't know, I mean, I guess it's one of those things where if I'm gonna wind up in positions where I'm trying something new anyway. So if I make a mistake instead of just shutting down and doing nothing, I think that's okay. I don't think you have to be perfect. But that does kind of bring me to a thought that I had. And an old friend of mine used to say that you shouldn't decide, because the root of the word decide is the same as the roots for suicide, homicide, infanticide. I was going to say, just all of those really negative things that are very final. If you commit suicide, you're not really coming back to do anything else. So he used to always say that you make a choice, not a decision. Because if you make a choice, you're choosing to do something, and that meant you had options. And in case you were wondering, you always have options. Even if it's do this or do nothing, that's an option. So I know a lot of people struggle with that idea, but usually I find that it's possible to find a choice that might turn out more in line with what you would like if you look for a choice instead of trying to force yourself to make a decision. But that brings me to something that another friend of mine says. You guys might know him as Ray from Fan Life Rocks, but he has this acronym for FAIL. That's First Attempt in Learning. And if you guys have been with me for more than a week or two, you realize that I have a little bit of a permaculture bent in my thinking. And one of the things that is common in permaculture is like this spiral. And so one of the things that I've had issues with at various times when this first attempt in learning has come up is, what if it's not the first time that something's happened? Maybe I tried a second or a third way to do something. Would that make it a sail or a tail? But I decided I'd just turn it into a fine attempt in learning. Because, well, quite frankly, sails and tails don't really make sense in talking about mistakes. So if I make a mistake, I can regroup. It's just a fine attempt in learning. I can move on from that. Let me show you how. So this is a spiral, in case you were unaware. And this is sort of the groundwork or the frame I tend to work on. If I think I might want to do something, I'll start thinking about it and maybe doing some research and trying to kind of mull over in my head how it might look. And maybe I'll even sketch some plans or, write out a list. I like lists. But I'm doing something to kind of solidify what the steps for that, whatever it is, are going to look like. So say maybe in terms of a garden, a plan would be thinking about where you want that to be and ordering supplies. And then you go into a build phase where, okay, you've ordered the supplies. Well, I guess actually the planning phase would be, okay, you're thinking about where it might be and measuring and figuring out how much you're going to need. And then the build would be building that first initial sort of kind of like a seed where, that seed has just enough food to build that sprout till it can make it to the air and stuff and get the sunlight. And then it's going to start doing its own thing and producing its own food. That's the build phase. That what do I need before I hit that first go live button the first time? So I've thought about a show and I've kind of planned a bit, and then I built my graphics and that kind of stuff, and then I'm going to implement. So for build in the garden example, that would be ordering your materials. And probably calling 811 and kind of mapping out in the yard where you're going to build this thing. Implementing, your materials have come in, they've been delivered, you've got a huge pile of dirt and mulch in your driveway, and maybe some sort of something to contain it all. And that implementation is going to start when you put that shovel in the ground and start getting rid of the grass that's there. Or when you hit that go live button on StreamYard and you're doing your first live stream. I'm trying to think of some other things. I don't know. But then after that, you need some feedback. So say you've got your flower beds or your vegetable patch, and maybe it's a 4x8 raised bed. And you've got your stuff planted and you watered it, and then in another couple of weeks you look at it and you see some things are wilted and dead. Other things are vining all over creation and just going everywhere, but they're thriving. So you've got that feedback, just like in a live stream. You would have that feedback. What did your audience think? Were they interacting? Were they talking to you in the chat? You know, did you gain some new subscribers maybe? All of that stuff is feedback. And then from there, we can adjust. And adjusting is just simply going, well, maybe I should have watered those things that are shriveled up and dead a little bit more. And maybe I want to get some tomato cages for those indeterminate tomatoes that I didn't have a plan to stake up because I didn't realize indeterminate tomatoes were, you know, kind of a ground dwelling vine in nature. Or maybe we didn't have the turnout we wanted to, so we can look and see if maybe we're not on at the right time of day for our audience. Those are all things you can adjust before you start planning the second garden or the second season in that garden. I mean, you know, a lot of places we can put in some stuff early in the spring and then maybe some different stuff for the summer and maybe even plant some fall stuff without too much trouble. Or, you know, maybe we're just going to adjust before that second live stream again, you know? And then you start this all over again. So maybe the build phase for the garden would be ordering some new starts because you don't have time to start from seed and have time for your growing season, that whatever that plant needs anymore. And maybe you already have your graphics, but maybe you want to put some new banners in for the live stream. And implementing would be hitting go live a second time. Congrats. Good job. Sometimes that's difficult. I know it was for me. Just like maybe if you didn't have a real successful year with your first garden, maybe it's hard to put that first shovel in when you're planting the second time because you're afraid of what's going to happen. But that brings us back to mistakes. You made mistakes. Accept them. Move on. You adjust. And then you can fix those mistakes on the second round. So where have you guys made a mistake that you want to adjust? I know one example I can think of for myself right now. I introduced you guys to a Trashy Toss challenge back in April. I guess it was back in March, to be done in April. And I made some mistakes there. Did you guys realize that? So some of the mistakes that I made. I went into this challenge without having been doing major exercise or walks of really any length for quite a few months because, well, it's been winter time. And so I haven't been in the garden. I haven't been outside mowing and doing those active things that I did all last summer. And then I also went into it knowing that I couldn't walk in my neighborhood because walking in my neighborhood is a little bit of a problem if anybody's doing laundry. You guys know that I have chemical sensitivities due to some of my chronic illness stuff. And if I'm exposed to that exhaust from dryers and stuff, I get very dizzy. So walking in neighborhoods is not usually a good idea for me, which that in and of itself was fine. I had a plan to go to different parks and trails in the area and pick up trash there and walk around. The problem is I hadn't been leaving the house and going to towns or anywhere every day for quite a while. So if I wanted to all of a sudden say, okay, I'm going to go from going to town once a month, which I think on average is probably about what I've been doing. And then all of a sudden I'm going to go to one town or another to get to a trail every single day. That takes a lot of time that I haven't been taking. And at the same time, I'm starting to do yard work because it's that time of year for us. And so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's where my mistake was. I didn't think about all those extra factors. I was thinking about the fact I wanted to be more active, and I wanted to join my friend's challenge, and I wanted to pick up trash, and I wanted people to do that with me. Those were kind of my thought processes there. So, did I make some mistakes? Yes. My body wasn't ready to handle walking on a daily basis. My household was not ready for me to be out of the house on a daily basis for a couple of hours every day. And mentally, I was not prepared to have that time out of the house every day. Could it have worked on a maybe once a week basis or twice a week basis? Yes. Well, except for those times when, like the first week of the challenge, I had, baseball and softball sized bruises all over one leg. But so those were mistakes I made in my planning. So how can I adjust for those? Well, I can get more active before I do a walking challenge. I'm doing that. I'm mowing, I'm working in the garden, and doing some things like that. I'm situating things around the house, although I'm not doing as much on this one as I probably could. So that I could be gone for a couple of hours in the afternoon and not have the cats freaking out and have all of the housework done, because I've been at home for a year at this point, So my routines and things have adapted and adjusted to me being home to do them. If I'm not home for a couple of hours in the afternoon, I still need the laundry done, and I still need the dishes done, and I still need all that stuff done that I was doing at those times before. So where are you at? What mistakes have you made that you want to they're still in line with your goals and you want to work towards those goals, but you need to make some adjustments?
My stop sharing screen went away. Okay. Okay. And I'm back. That was kind of trivial. Steak and salad sounds good. And Voyageurs National Park sounds good too. That doesn't sound like a mistake. What mistakes have you guys come up with does anybody have examples of places where they've really shouldn't have done that, but this is how I fixed it, or maybe you're still trying to figure out how to fix it? Ooh, those are very painful. I'm in the process of setting up a paperwork system to keep track of our medical records and stuff. I actually tore my meniscus away from the bone. I think it was back in 10 or 11. It seems strange for it to have been that late, but I didn't move here until 2009, so. Oh, I wouldn't have even thought about something like that, but I bet if you wound up with a publisher that wasn't good, you'd wind up either not getting anywhere. Hi, Corinne. Or have a lot of problems and the final product isn't great. So that makes a lot of sense, Red. Do you know or have any ideas on how to get, do you just find a better publisher or a different, how does that work? Oh, well, that makes sense too, Tim, because now you're questioning if you're going to need to get a new minivan and have to change out everything in your build on the road. So I was going to say, and it sounds like you may have rectified that mistake gathering. Oh, that's not fun, Tim. You paid them to publish your work? I was going to say, I'm going to kind of let you two talk about this because I haven't, I don't have experience with it. I was going to say, and I have people wanting me to do a cookbook and I wouldn't have any clue. So do you mind if I ask what shopping your book entails? Do you have to have the book already written? And while you're typing that, I wanted to show you this mistake. So my kids, in case you're unaware, my kids have other siblings that are not mine. So when I say my kid's sister, it's not my kid sister like a sibling of mine that's younger. It is my children's sister. Came over the other day and we were out in the garden and she wanted to help. There were a couple of sort of like dead branches or limbs in my forsythia bush, and she wanted to help cut the dead wood out. Well, in doing that, since she'd never done it before, she didn't know to look for off like side branches. So she cut this one big branch down at the base, which made sense. And then when we were pulling it out, it had these other side branches that were still living. So this is kind of another example of a mistake. You know, it didn't need to be cut. At least not all of it needed to be cut. But I got a pretty flower display for the house that if I don't watch it, I'm going to break a Mr. Peanut jar. Yeah, I've had several people that are wanting me to do a cookbook. I don't feel like I have enough recipes to actually do a cookbook at this point, but it's sort of in my mind for future possibilities. Oh, that makes sense, Red. Well, know better, do better. It sounds like you know that the mistake was made and now you can adjust for it. And Tim, I think that's one thing I really like about Ray's build is that it's not so set in stone as a lot of them I see. Hi, Vicky. So if he wants to try something new or test a different setup, he can. In all actuality, that's kind of what I like about Maddie Van Halen's van build is he can move stuff around. And honestly, you've got the one bed situation in there, but I don't think that's much more involved to move either. If I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but you know what I mean? And I'm yelling again. I'm sorry. Why is this? All right, Amazon has a free way to publish. I did the 7-story tree for free, but I feel like Amazon gets a lot from that more than me, but it was free to publish with them. That makes sense. Yeah, I think they take like 30% or something. And then you really have to do all of the marketing and selling of your book yourself. I am going to make myself a note because this is the third live I've done and I still haven't fixed that Stream Elements. That makes sense, Red. And it jumped. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I saw JW came in earlier, unless it's Elizabeth. Either way, hello. And thank you, Jennifer. It will take me probably a couple of times to get it. But the more I see you, I will put 2 and 2 together and I will have your name down. But just be patient with me. I might ask again as well. Yes, KISS Principle is always helpful. Wow, $1 million? That's insane. Should I assume that was because of some like clause in the contract or something? How are you doing tonight, JW? You're welcome, Jennifer. And I was going to say, I know a lot of you guys probably haven't met The Gathering Within yet. She has some really awesome, like, guided meditation. I'm trying to think of the word. That's not, like affirmation type videos is what I was watching earlier. So if you don't know Jennifer, please go check out her channel when you get a chance. And since I know I have had some of you stop in since I started, I want to go back to this announcement just real quick. I guess to start off with, if you don't know what the Raid Parade is, it is a group of premieres that we bounce from one chat to the next that happens on Fridays at 2 p.m. I have been off for probably about a month by the time we're back. It is going to be coming back not this Friday, but the following. So if you are available, I think it's 2 p.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Pacific time, roundabouts there. There have been some modifications just to keep it more manageable, and that information will go out in emails. I'm shooting for Friday afternoon. That way we can have everybody on the same page and get things scheduled for the following Friday. And then at the top of the hour, we are going to be rating Prairie Life. That is Karen. If you don't know her, she has the most amazing photographers. I believe usually in the Canadian prairies, but not always, I don't think, on her channel, and does some awesome interviews, and we get great photography tips and look at some really cool areas. Nate, you actually have an instant message sitting there waiting for you. I tried to let a few people that had joined in before know that it was coming back. So I am very excited about that because it's a lot of fun. We get to hang out. I guess if you have not been to a raid parade, I should put the disclaimer in that at least a couple of us typically do food videos. So it's always a good idea to come with a snack. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and so I'm really happy that I figured out a way to, I think, fix the issues and get back to it. Yeah, I was gonna say that's the marketing part, and you selling the book is the part that I struggle with that idea. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so apparently Red is going to be going live after Prairie Life tonight. Hi, Lisa. I am behind on your videos too. Lisa makes some awesome, I'm going to get the acronym. It's like ASMR or something, but it's like babbling brooks and birds at the shoreline. It's really pretty videos. I often wonder Like, do you have to seek out places to film, or you just have lots of places like that in your area? And I'm yelling again. I am sorry. Why am I yelling? I don't mean to be yelling, I'm sorry. But yeah. So and that's one of those things. I made some mistakes with the raid parade, and that's why I stopped it briefly, and I just had to figure out how to fix those mistakes. So hopefully the new changes will work and be more manageable. So we've got Red that has fixed some publisher mistakes, which is cool. And it sounds like has a book on Amazon. If I understood the comments correctly, it would still be on Amazon because it wasn't that publisher that was the problem. And Tim is learning what he likes in a van, which is that's one thing that it's like, I want to do all the build outs on everything. And how do I know what the right setups would be for somebody else if I'm not going to stay in that vehicle, if that makes sense? How long do you have to go, Ford Man? I know you were in your last set of classes. I just film where I enjoy going on my adventures. A good design and nature eye, especially for relaxing. Now I just need to learn as I go to edit better, slowly getting there. Yeah, most definitely. With editing, I find that I'm always sort of learning a little tweak here or there. And like, so the video, I know some of you guys weren't in here, but the video I just did that we watched about mistakes tonight, I actually learned that do not disturb on this phone actually still puts notifications on the screen. So I am learning to, instead of stopping and restarting a voiceover, I was learning to tweak it by going back to the beginning of the sentence I had just said after the notification disappears. So then I can just cut that little section out and I still have a complete sentence that I'm not trying to piecemeal together like I have done at times in the past. Oh, I guess it is the last week of April, isn't it? I was going to say, and I really like InShot. I do all of my editing on my phone. Allie, videos are edit. Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, I do all of my editing on my phone. And InShot makes everything easy. And like for the video that I did tonight, InShot has a screen capture app as well. And so I used that to do the screen capture. It allows me to record audio at the same time. And there's actually a canvas option that allows you to tell it like I want it to be 9 by 16 or 16 by 9 and that kind of thing. And that actually is how you get rid of that weird cropping with sidewall thing on it, Lisa. Hi, Robert. We are actually just finishing up and going over to raid Karen at Prairie Life. But I don't know. I think it's been a good live. Do you guys like the new format with the pre-recorded so I can be talking to you in chat? Did that work better? Because I didn't like not being able to talk to you guys and answer questions as I was going before. Okay. And yes, Ray, I know I'm drinking milk. It'll be okay. At least it's not diet. Sorry, Paula. Awesome. Okay. So anyways, like I mentioned, okay, maybe I should ask if somebody can check and see if Karen is live yet, because I don't see her. So anyway, I will... Ray, it's not all your fault. I just know that you're always like, are you drinking water? I'm not drinking water. I drank my water. I did drink my water. You watched me finish my water today. Anyway. So yeah, tomorrow I will have a video out wrapping up, and it'll premiere at 2 p.m. Eastern time, wrapping up the Switch to Simplify series that I just finished on the shorts. And then Thursday we will be hopefully finishing up Onion on the herb journals. And then Friday I will have some sort of a food at probably about 2:10. Thanks, Ford Man. All right, so I am going to go ahead and pop off here, and I will see you guys over at Karen's. The link is pinned up above, okay? Thanks, Ray.